Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Om Shanti.
Morning, Om Shanti.
Good morning, Om Shanti.
Good morning, Om Shanti.
Good morning, Om Shanti.
Morning, Om Shanti.
Good morning, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So, hope everyone is doing well. Today,
Good morning, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Today, the thought was to look at the experience of and the power of a point. A point. We all know that we are much more than these physical bodies. And we often use the word a point of light. Even when we say Om Shanti, the word Om symbolizes a point. In Hindi, we use the word Bindu. And when we go to the temples, also the priest would put a point here, Bindu. And point has a lot of spiritual significance, mathematical significance. And so this thought was for some time to explore the depth of how to really feel being a point. How does it feel to be a point? Because we know that we are stars, we are spiritual beings, we call ourselves souls, and we describe the soul as a point of light. And so there are two words in that. One is point, and the other is light. And so today the thought is to travel the journey from being a point to being a light. So we start with the point and then end with the light. Is the slide visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So point. When we were young kids, the first thing that was taught to us was how to draw a point. And drawing a point is pretty much the easiest thing to do. You just need to touch and then a point is created. So what is a point and how do we define a point? And how do we experience the power of a point? Sometimes, often, in meditation, we see this image where light is emanating from a point. You see rays of light emanating from a point. And so the significance is that we experience ourselves as a point, and the more we experience ourselves as a point, the more there is light that radiates. The light of love, the light of peace, the light of happiness and joy. It radiates. And when that light radiates, then there is might that is experienced. Might is called power. And that's why it's called lighthouse, might house. This morning we heard the word lighthouse, might house. So the more the practice, the experience is to stay inside in the point, then these currents will be visible. It's like will be felt, experienced, of light, of might. When there is light, when there is might, then our every action is right. Because the soul gets a sight to see clearly, not with confusion, not with questions, not with misunderstanding, but with clarity, with truth. So let us go into that journey of experiencing the power of point. We are not a drop in an ocean. We are the entire ocean in a drop. It's like drop signifies a point. And so everything is merged in a point. It's like a point. So if I keep going far and far from some object, then when I go to infinity, what I see from that perspective is just a point. So a point allows me to go into the unlimited. And because it is unlimited, it's an ocean. And so that's why the words are, in Hindi we say Bindu, a point, and Sindhu, an ocean. And that's why we say or sing, it's like, God, you are the ocean of love, and you are the eternal divine point of light. So point and the ocean, Bindu and the Sindhu. So this is an entire ocean that lies in a drop, in this point, the soul. So how do we define a point mathematically? Say a point is a primitive notion upon which the geometry is built, meaning that a point cannot be defined in terms of previously defined objects. So point is kind of the fundamental building block of geometry. In the same way, the point, what we call as the consciousness, cannot be defined in terms of the defined or the physical objects. Undefined. That's why the consciousness is also like a point. And based on the point, based on the consciousness, then everything else is functioning. If in the world there is no consciousness, no conscious point, then the world cannot function. So upon which the geometry is built. It is the simplest. It's like going to the zero-dimensional world. Even a line is one-dimensional. A plane is two-dimensional. A cube is three-dimensional. But a point is zero-dimensional. And so a few weeks back, we were looking into 2021 as the journey towards 0 and 1. So 0, going towards 0, zero-dimensional, beyond. So this point, experience of being a point, is that transition from this physical world, this limited world of the dimensions of space and time, into the unlimited world, the world which is beyond, the world which is spaceless and timeless. It's through the point. So going into and experiencing that zero-dimensional stage. And like we discussed that time, zero, it's like zero attachments. It's a zero ego, zero desires. I expect zero credits for anything. I own nothing. I lack nothing. So this complete, we say, a state which is beyond, is through this point. Completely metaphysical, zero dimension. And so point does not have any length, area, volume, or any other dimensional attribute. So the consciousness, the point, does not have any length, area, volume, nothing visible, nothing of the physical dimension. Completely metaphysical. And so the consciousness also is like a point. It does not have a shape, it does not have a mass. You cannot see it with these physical eyes. Point. The same in mathematics, a point is just signifies a location. A point is, say, indivisible. You cannot divide a point. So I cannot divide a point. I can divide a line. I can divide a circle. Anything physical I can divide. But the point cannot be divided. Indivisible, cannot divide. So that's why the more I stay in the consciousness, I am a point, everyone else is a point, then as if the whole world is united, cannot be divided. These days we all know divisions happening. But that again is because of physical or visible differences that people relate with. But the more this consciousness of being a point and realization that we're all points, indivisible, indestructible. Point. We use the word point in many other ways. Say the point of view. Point of view. What is my point of view? So whatever I see depends on my point of view, perspective. So from different angles, different perspectives, the same thing looks differently. And so the point of view is my point of view from the space of truth, or the space of the visible, physical dimension. So when I am in that point of consciousness, then I can easily, even in relationships, communications, understand where the other person is coming from, seeing it from their side. Because then being a point, my mind is silent. It is not reacting to anything of the physical world. And so when a mind is silent, it can easily understand perspectives. And so then this morning we're listening world service. Service of the world is basically coming into relationships, coming into connections with love. Sharing the energy with love. So this aspect is to understand the other person, the other one, point of view. Because being a point allows the soul to experience also God's point of view, how God is seeing things. So when I'm not a point, I get stuck in my, I would say my idea or my thing. But I'm a point, I'm flexible then. There's nothing that I'm attached to. And so I'm free. The other way we look at point is we say start point and end point. Where did I begin? Where do I end? Whenever we go, that's the GPS shows, the start point, end point. We'll calculate the distance or the duration. So it's like even now in the journey of life, if I remember the start point and also realize that there is an end point, and that's a journey. Yeah, so there's in this limited lifespan also, it's a starting point and there will be an end point. It's not going to be forever. And that perspective easily allows me to stay in the truth, not create attachments in the limited side scenes of life. Like the journey, I begin and then I know where is my destination. So I won't get, even though the side scenes are very beautiful, I would just look at them, enjoy them, but I won't be attached to them. And so starting point, ending point. And then also from the perspective of the soul, I realized that there was a starting point when we all left our home of silence, came here, and then there is also an end point. And so this starting point, end point allows me to hold the larger perspective, the point of view. To realize that really this life is a journey. And so I'm also focused on the end. It's like today we were listening, service of the self means that I connect with my complete form. Complete is a point and perfect form, which means that I know that is the destination. That was the beginning also, and that's the destination also. The start point, end point. That perspective, I easily take things in a very light way. Every day is beautiful, new, another chapter, another experience in this amazing journey of life. Also, in one day I start my day and I end my day. Starting point, ending point, important. How I begin my day, how I end my day. So I begin my day by starting with the point. I am a point. And I end my day, I am a point. And so everything else is then merged. So it begins initially and then gets merged to a point. That's the essence, the point. Another way we look at point is the turning point. Sometimes we say, this is a turning point. This was a turning point in my life, from where my perspective completely shifts. Turning point. And we all realize that these times are a turning point from external to internal. So our friend virus has showed us or made us realize that it's not out there in here, turning inwards. Because we are a point. This is the time that we all have to just again and again realize and live in that space. I am a point. It's a turning point. So this time actually is the turning point in the history of, in the entire history of time. The turning point. So I turn. So I return to the truth. I turn away from the illusion. I return to the truth. I face the truth again. I face the self as who I am, and I face the divine, the being. Turning point. Generally, it's like a realization that creates a turning point. Like the other day, we were having this beautiful discussion on the power of realization and how realization creates transformation. So I transform or turn. And turning and also returning. I return. I have to go back, think of the home where I came from. So I return back. So again, it begins from a point. So point is that anchor. It's very important. Even a circle, I remember the way we used to draw a circle. We used to put the point, and then we would just rotate it, and then it would, with a pencil, it would create a circle. So this circle or this eternal journey of the soul also has to be centered, anchored, balanced. So the point is so important. Another way we look at point, as we see the balance point. Like gymnasts or people who have balance, work with balance. Even people who do physical asanas and hatha yogas. That the idea is to align with the balance point. So you find the point and then you align yourself there. And so to be in balance allows me to function in a natural way. And that's the whole idea of physical yoga as well, is to bring the body back to the balance. So I also come back to the balance. Like this morning we were listening, balance of yoga, which is meditation or remembering the truth. And we say service. Service is expression of that truth. So the balance of being in essence and being in expansion is then the balanced state of mind. So I hold the essence whilst being in the expansion. I don't lose it. And a good example was given of breath. So I breathe in and breathe out. It's in balance. It's a sign of being alive, balance. And so this is also balance. Mind, life is all about being in balance. So I have the balance of focus and flow, essence of expansion, holding on, letting go, balance. And when the mind is in balance, the experience is that I'm living a life of blessings. Blessings. Blessings means that everything is just happening on its own. Because when the consciousness is in balance, then the flow of life revolves around it. Revolves around it. So the observer, like the other day, observer, just the observer in balance, easily allows this beautiful experience of life to happen. The balance point. In balance, then I can easily also understand my strengths, my weaknesses. Like in India, we used to have this balance. In Hindi, we call it tarazu. So when the pointer is in balance, then you can measure the balance point. And many times the whole struggle, or we say confusion, is about getting to a balanced state. So an unbalanced mind is then a mind that is laboring, struggling. But then through this balance of breathing in, breathing out, breathing in God's love, God's peace, and breathing out that same energy. In Hindi, we call it shwaso shwas. Breathing in, breathing out. Point, balance point. Another way we look at point, we say the tipping point. Tipping point. So what is the tipping point? We say at some point where then the slope becomes zero, right? And then you go to the other side of the cliff. You say a lot of hard work and slow momentum versus woohoo, it is much easier and you have momentum behind you. Tipping point. It's like, also we say like critical number, critical mass, after which it's like the gravity helps you then. So tipping point is when the soul realizes that life is no longer a struggle, but just to be in balance and then experience the gravity or the blessings, just that push of the blessings from the divine working. And then it is a life of fun, enjoyment. The tipping point. So we say critical number is like a chain reaction, we say a tipping point or a chain. So when a critical mass is reached in chemistry, then a chain reaction begins. And then there's no longer any effort needed. Or when there's a tipping point, it's like a critical number of people have started a certain pattern of behavior, then after a critical number is reached, then it just everyone starts doing the same. So tipping point. So the more we all stay in the consciousness of being a point, then the more we are spreading that vibration. And then there will be a tipping point where then this whole world then transforms, changes, tips. Starting point, ending point, balance point, tipping point, point of view. Next is, you see the point of the nail, point. It's like when the nail is pointed, then if I hammer, the nail goes very deep. When the point is, it's not a point, then it doesn't go deep. Meaning that when I experience being a point, then anything I can go deeper. Even in spiritual wisdom, I can go deeper. So that's why it's like when we listen to or discuss different points, it's like being a point and then listening to the point of knowledge. Being a point and then listening to the point. It allows that point to go deep. Because otherwise, it's just on the surface. It doesn't go deep. And when the nail goes deep, then actually it can be used. Because it's then formed in the wall. So that any point of, we say, spiritual knowledge goes deep, then that point becomes an anchor of my life. Deep. That's why even just one point. So every morning we do listen to a lot of points. So we do study in different ways. We may be studying different points, reading books or spiritual texts or even videos or whatever. But it's important to take one point. Not to take a lot, but just one. And then go deeper. And to realize it from the perspective of being a point. Then it goes deeper. And that becomes an anchor of my life, of my experience. And then in meditation, I can go deeper and deeper into that. Then every day I have to just hammer it, go deeper. Another point is, say, seed, the point. The seed of a tree is also like a point. Invisible. You cannot, when the tree has grown, the seed is invisible below the ground. The seed is a point. But a seed has so much potential. Without the seed, the plant cannot grow. So all the expansion of the tree is merged in the seed, the point. And so I realized that this whole body, this entire role that I am playing is a tree. But then the seed that holds it together is the point, the consciousness. If I lose the point, if I miss the point, then this goes off balance. I also realized that the divine, the supreme, is also the seed of the entire expansion of this world, the entire humanity. God is the seed. So the more I connect to the seed and experience the seed, like this morning we were hearing the word the seed stage, which means in meditation, in Hindi it is Bij Roop, means Roop Bij, Bij the potential, the power. So in a point, all the potential is merged. So just go to that essence and experience the potential. And then it will emerge at the right time accordingly, automatically. And the journey is, it starts from a seed, goes into a tree, and then the tree bears fruit. I think we were discussing this some other day. And the fruit has the seed in it. Journey from a point to a point. A seed to a seed. Then we looked into God. We discussed about God as the seed. And here God is the point. In maths, they say a point is both a source and a sink. A source, we call it divergence, and then sink is convergence. So we all can relate to the word source and sink. And both these are so important. And the divine God, because God always is in the form of point, just a point, and never forgets that he is a point, he or she is a point. It's like source of goodness. Act like a source. Like a sun, just source. And a sink of waste. Sink is like, so source is like a star, right? A star, and sink is like a black hole. So black hole, we know, right? Anything close to black hole, it will just, just merge in it. Sink. So the more I connect to the divine, the God, it's like, then I'm experiencing the light, the source, the light. I'm with the source, so there is light in my mind. And the sink means automatically anything that can be wasteful or heavy is erased. It vanishes. Sink. Sometimes in India, there are many stories, and one story they say about God is that an attribute of God is that they say that one of the deities that they worship, they say he drank poison, Neelkant. So it's like he drank, or means that sink. So the soul, the negativity of the which is there in the mind, could be because of some impression of illusion, gets sink in the presence of God, the point. And then another way to look at point is, say, question mark to full stop. This we also heard today, question mark. So one is to ask good questions. It's like good questions is like hammer, right? That allows me to go deeper. But wrong type of questions are going into the confusion or complications, then makes the mind confused. That's why I say question mark is crooked, it's difficult. But the point is very easy. Full stop. Question mark to full stop. So full stop is a point. In English, it is also called period. No, full stop, period. Period is a gap, right? Period. I give a gap, period. So full stop, period. So I give space, so I'm busy in doing things, so thoughts are all there, but then I give a period, a break. Full stop. full stop means completely. Zero at the point. So a mind of constantly asking questions, why this happened with me, or how will it happen? So that creates a heavy energy or problems. It's called problem consciousness. Full stop, solution consciousness. You can easily understand, or the solution automatically emerges. I allow space or period. I give space, time for it to emerge automatically. And after I've put a full stop, then a new sentence begins. Like I've closed a chapter, begin, close, begin. So it's very beautiful practice. It's just, okay, I was doing something, okay, finish, done, full stop. Now next thing. Okay, finish, done, full stop. Means just completely. They say a yogi is always in the moment, means it's not dwelling in anything that happened even in the last minute. Means that is not being carried in the mind of a yogi. Seen drama, full stop, move forward. So we say full stop. Traffic policeman. Yeah. That's what we have to do. Full stop to any thoughts which may be just creating heaviness. Full stop. Full stop. So I apply a point. Apply a point. Full stop. Apply a point. So that is what it means. You know, when we heard this morning is paying attention to the self and checking, which means that I pay attention to who I am rather than who everyone else, like looking at others, but looking at myself. And if there is any thing that I feel needs to be changed, I just say, okay, full stop, and let me just change my point of view. And in that, I transform my consciousness, my awareness, my thoughts. Full stop. Apply a point. So this is one of the very beautiful ways to use the point. I apply a point to the past or the any thoughts that may be bothering the mind. I apply a point. It's very easy, just to apply a point. So this internal checking, this realization, I apply a point. This is what we say, don't check others, check yourself. Because if I check others, I put a question mark. Why is this one like this? Question mark. How will they change? Question mark. When will they change? Question mark. How can world improve? It's like thinking about, then others, it's like question mark, but then self, full stop, apply a point. So all those thoughts, I apply a point. And then the second way we can use the point is become a point. Become a point. It's just like if I all the different shapes here, right? You see three-dimensional shapes, but they can be projected into a point. No form. These shapes have a form, but then the point has no form. So in the same way, become a point is when the mind doesn't hold any form. We say beyond form. No form. Formless. In other words, we call it bodiless, incorporeal. So the mind does not hold any form beyond the form. Become a point. So the first is apply a point. The second is become a point. So I'm not this physical, I'm just a tiny point. So let us just experiment with this. Applying a point. Right now, everything that happened since the beginning of the day until now, all the scenes I watch, I look at the thoughts and I apply a point. Full stop. And now I realize that I'm not what meets the eye. And any expansion of the three-dimensional movie that is going on, I converge everything, merge everything to a point. This is who I am, a point. I'm just a tiny, peaceful point. And in this experience of being a point, becoming a point, then I naturally link the point. I connect the point, to the eternal point, to the divine, the spiritual sun. Link point. This is, so line segment I draw from I, the point, to the point. And this is the link of love. I experience the presence of the eternal point. And just like this beautiful image, it shows that it's like a canopy is created. And then the experience is, I am under the protection, the canopy, the safety of the divine, of God. I belong to the point. My heart is in love with the one. Naturally, constantly, easily. So I experience this link of love with the eternal point, God. And I experience the warmth, the light, the love that the Supreme Point has for I, the point. It's unlimited. Belong to the point. These three, apply a point to the waste thoughts, become a point, formless, belong to the point, remembrance of the one. It creates a triangle. And inside that triangle, I stay happy. These are the 3 points of a balanced, easy yogi and constant servo life. Say easy yogi. It's a life of fun, enjoyment, easy, simple. And constant service, every moment service, constant. In Hindi we call it Teen Bindu. And there's a beautiful song. It says, "Ye teen bindu mat bisro, बीती बात पे बिंदु धरो, बिंदु बनो, बिंदु को याद करो." Which means, don't forget the 3 points. Just apply a point on the past, become a point, and remember the point. It's so simple, so easy. Just this mantra. And this is what we heard, Man Manabhav, the mantra of Man Manabhav, or becoming an embodiment of Man Manabhav, which means my mind is completely aligned with the divine. It's very easy, beautiful, simple life. Just holding this mantra in my awareness all the time. Apply a point, become a point, belong to the point. And then experiencing power of point. This power of point makes me a point of power. A point of power. It's all the ocean, the powers that are merged in the drop emerge. So the more I experience the power of a point in the 3 ways, right, then they make me a point of power. And a point of power is a living lighthouse and lighthouse. A living lighthouse and lighthouse. Which means it carries the light and the power. And so here is when the point has become now light. The journey from a point then to light. The lighthouse is always focused within, that emerges the light, or the power, light and might, which then the lighthouse uses to show path to everyone at a distance. And this is what we say, service through the mind. So the mind is completely in that experience. So let us create a few moments and experience being a lighthouse. So we will just play a nice little song and we will experience being a light, a point, and then just experiencing that this light is spreading everywhere. We're all a living lighthouse and lighthouse. We'll just play that.
things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. Oh, light. Yeah. Oh, light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Thank you to all living lights, all angels. Thank you. Appreciate your time, presence. Om Shanti. Please feel free to share your thoughts.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Saurabhai. I really like the way the triangle, the way you were explaining the starting point, then the balance point, and ending point with the Baba. So I really like that triangle, and this make a sense, that everything has a point. So starting point and ending point. So it depends how you start. And when you start with the good thing, it end up with the good thing. But if you start with the bad thing, it end up with the bad thing. So it 100% make a sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. Any other inspirations, thoughts?
Thank you, Saurabhai, for a nice presentation and the point of light, the powerful power of the point, and how we should not waste our negative and wasteful thoughts and concentrate on the intrinsic values of the point related to the soul. And make it and feel light. And your knowledge and wisdom is par excellence, and you are making us wiser day by day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Krishna Bhai. Appreciate. Thanks for your presence and your energy. Thank you.
Om Shanti Sarabhai. Thank you so
Shanti,
much again. Beautiful presentation, powerful knowledge point, which we are now talking about soul. But you explained what is point, and then journey is also like as a soul, our journey is also from starting point to the end point. So if we don't know our end point, we don't have the purpose in the life. We are not doing how it should be, right? So once we know where did we start from and where we have to go, then our perspective completely changes. We see the sightseeing and we enjoy each and every scene, but we won't have attachment to them. So you explained to that very nicely. And realization means, again, turning point is a realization. And then 4 steps, I'm taking it from today, is first step is changing question mark to the full stop. I remember from the Murli, Baba said, from question mark, do not change to comma, inverted comma, exclamation mark, just put a full stop. That's it. That's the first point. And then become a point. So stabilize in the soul consciousness. And then belong to the point. So belong to Baba, point. And then once we belong to Baba, we get all the energy. And then the final stage is experiencing the power of point. Then we ourselves become living life, a light and might house. So that's how we are doing Mansa Seva. That is from our today's Murli. How we are doing Mansa Seva is experiencing the power of point. Thank you so much, Saurabhai.
Thank you, Kusumbai.
Maybe Nripesh would like.
Summarized beautifully. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Nripesh would like to say.
Sure.
Thank you, Saurabh, once again. Very nice presentation. Lots of points are like continuation from the morning's Murli. So once again, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I will also like to say, add that, Saurabhai, that Dadi Janki used to say Atma Bindi, Drama Bindi, and Baba Bindi. So.
Very nice. Thank you.
Hello, brother. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Sarashmaya.
Another very, very meaningful, beautiful presentation. This is just awesome. We always think that we have to think as a point of light, but today you explained so well that how we should do that. First, we have to apply the point, then become a point, and then we are belong to the point. And then you become a point of light. And thank you for being a point of light for us. You are really like shining sun. And I like it very much. And I like it very much when you said that you are not just a drop in the ocean. You are ocean in the drop. Mm-hmm. So that way we have to become a point to get that power. And we have to express that power to the world. Thank you for beautiful presentation, explanation, guidance, and thank you for being a light in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Beautifully presented discourse, on point, and you start from. I think that we start from 0 dimension of point. We build into 3 dimensions, and then from 3 dimensions we can bring it back to 0 dimension. So that analogy was very good, and many definitions of the points. Those were really very thought-provoking. That starting and ending point, returning, and then anchor point, tipping point. Those are really very fascinating. And then I also like the source and sink, how the divine is like a source for everything, goodness, and how the divine also absorbs the waste, so it's really remarkable, and finally the focal point as a focus is on a point where we actually need to be focused on, so that is our um, bindu, or our forehead, that the soul, basically that's where we have to be focused on from beginning to the end, so that is the main point that it's very well presented. Thank you very much. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Kavan bhai,
Om Shanti. Thank you, Saurabai, for yet another wonderful session, a very powerful session, and always giving us food for thought. And I liked the beginning a lot. You are not a drop in an ocean, but you are the ocean in a drop, So that is Bindu and Sindhu, as Baba explains. And honestly, I never thought of the different points that you mentioned, And as you said, the turning point is generally a realization. And I think that is in my case also. I also liked how easily and very beautifully you explained the points of a balanced, easy yogi and a constant server. First is to be a point and apply a point to any wasteful thoughts and any questions to a full stop, and then become a point. I, the soul, am a point. And once we belong to the point, the divine, that's when we start experiencing the power, the power, and this makes us a living lighthouse, light and might house, which we can then give light to others. Thank you, Saurabai. Very beautiful presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate. You summarized it so well. Thank you.
Om Shanti Saurabai.
Shanti.
Thank you for the nice session. I like that when we are point, then we radiate light and might, and then our every action will be right. So I like that point. And then, as you said, there's a start point and end point. So we as a soul, we have started 84 births back from the golden age as a point. Then again, now we have seen all the sides in between all the 4 ages. Now again, we have to go as a point with Baba to the Paramdham, the end point. I like that point. And I liked even the pointed nail where you said that when we hit the point with a hammer, it goes deeper, then we can use it. The same thing, like when we are point and listen to a point, then it allows me go into the deep. And then we can experience that in a meditation, that point. Take one point from the Murali or whatever we listen or watch. So then that experience in the meditation makes going deep in that point. Yeah. Thank you so much, Saurabai.
Thank you. Any other inspirations, thoughts?
Om Shanti Saurabai.
Shanti.
Very nice presentation. And when we are point, so zero attachment, zero desire, zero ego. And yeah, I like 3 point of balance. Apply the point, become point and past point, and remember of point. Thank you, Saurabh bhai.
Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Any other inspirations?
Om Shanti Saurabhai. Can I add one thing?
Yeah, please.
I just remember from Dadi Guljar said, there are 5 doors to lose happiness. Like when we have this kind of continuous questions like why, what, who, how, kab tak. I don't know how to say kab tak in English. So these are the questions like why, what, who, how. These are the 5 doors to lose happiness. So I think the first step is to completely change this question to full stop. Apply the full stop.
Beautiful. I like it. Very nice. 5 questions. Change it to point. Nice. Any other inspirations?
Om Shanti Saurabhai.
Om Shanti.
I'm just hearing only, but even then, I like the question mark. Even the question also, there is a full stop. So that stop, without the question, so that stop, the full stop only, no, makes us to happy and then a light, make it a light. We don't feel as it weight anything. So then we should not, for making that question mark, that cow, no, it takes time. Whereas to keep the full stop, it doesn't take so much time. So then we have to keep the full stop, and then in that point we have to remember our Baba. So everything comes in according to that point, how we are, our state of mind. According to that, everything will happen. So okay. So thanks for this.
Thank you.
Presentation, this session also. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Any other thoughts? Yeah. Sanjita Ben, Sister Joy, Triratna Bhai, Rajesh Ben, Naresh Bhai. Any other thoughts anyone would like to add?
Hi.
Hello.
Om Shanti. Hi. Yeah, very, very insightful presentation again. But thank you very much. The comparison with the geometrical view of the point with the spiritual view is really, really beautiful. I think one of the other points raised earlier around the zero dimension. It's really, I think this is really important to understand, I guess, the zero dimension of what the point signifies, where you start, where you finish. And also in geometry, where a point is the way where we define the position of anything in geometry. So also, in any plane or any line or anything that we do in geometry, it's the point that defines the position. So I think that's also is very, very interesting how you have managed to explain this in a very simple way. Yeah, thank you. It's really good. It's food for thought.
Thank you, Bhai. Appreciate Triratna Bhai. And Triratna is like 3 dots, right? Your name is 3 points.
Actually, 3 Ratna is 3 jewels.
3 jewels.
Oh, Baba jewels.
Amazing. Yeah. So you're already living that life, Triratna Bhai. The constant server.
Yeah, in Japan, apparently Mitsubishi means Triratna. It's because you can see Mitsubishi had 3 jewels, 3 diamonds.
Wow. Excellent. So you should come here sometime to share those diamonds with us?
Yeah, I was there a year ago, exactly a year ago.
Oh, you came a year ago?
In February, I was there.
Yeah, Triratna had a conference in Texas, and then he visited us that time last year. Yeah, he was invited in the conference for presentation. Yeah, last year.
Very nice. So we will again have a conference this year. So for you to come and
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, if we can travel, that would be great.
Absolutely. Everything is safe there in UK?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's all looking better now. We are still in lockdown. Hopefully.
I see. Yeah, take care, bye. But appreciate your time, especially to
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
spend with us. Thank you. Appreciate it. Any final thoughts? Anyone would like to add? So we will have blessings for everyone. Krishna Bhai, this is God's love fills your heart with the sweet sound of truth, enabling you to remain in tune with your purpose while harmonizing with others. Sweet sound of truth. Thank you. And Saroj Pen, God's love guides you to direct the feelings in your heart towards three simple tasks. Thank you, Bhai.
Thank you, brother. Beautiful. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Thank you. The three simple tasks: to uplift, be merciful, and forgive. God's love guides you to direct the feelings in your heart toward three simple tasks: to uplift, be merciful, and forgive.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Kaval Bhai, this is for you. Through God's love, you remain close to truth and distant from doubt, enabling you to obtain the heights of joy and the depths of understanding.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Meena Ben, God's love restores an inner wisdom that recognizes a promise to the self means to let go without giving up. Thank you, Meena Ben.
Thank you, Saurabh Bhai. Thank you so much.
Manoj Bhai, in God's love, your inner beauty blossoms with the awareness of how loving, loved, and lovable you are. That's very true.
Thank you so much. I will convey this because he just left.
Sure, no problem. This is for Dev, healed by God's love. You overcome any challenge through the strength of your honesty, courage, and integrity.
Very nice. Thank you.
Nita Ben, awakened by God's love, you deepen the understanding of yourself, thereby heightening the sweetness of your life.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Baba.
Virender Bhai, empowered by God's love, your open heart embraces what seems unforgivable in an ocean of love that is unconditional.
Thank you so much, Saurabh.
Thank you.
Baba, Om Shanti.
Sister Joy, God's love transforms you into a healer of hearts, touching others through your vision of acceptance and feelings of mercy.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Joy.
Loving, constant server. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Sister Joy, and we really appreciate your presence in the family, your sharings, your energy, and hope your health is also improving, getting better.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. And Naresh Bhai, God's love polishes you into a living diamond with a heart that is perfect in love and flawless in appreciating others. Thank you. Very nice. And Rajesh Ben, your love of peace is surpassed only by your love for God. Thanks. Thank you. And yesterday actually was their 40th wedding anniversary, Rajesh Ben and Naresh Bhai. So congratulations again for 40 years of amazing journey together.
Congratulations to both of them. Congratulations. Very well done.
Congratulations, Naresh Bhai and Rajesh Bhai.
Congratulations, Naresh Bhai and Rajesh Bhai, for
Congratulations,
this
Saurabh.
beautiful journey together.
Ours is
Baba bless you
45
with
years.
many more years of togetherness and happiness.
Okay.
Congratulations, both of them.
Yeah, congratulations, Rajesh Bhai and Naresh Bhai.
Yeah, convey our congratulations.
Yeah,
I mean, greetings to them.
Maybe their internet may not be working, so maybe they are not able to share. But yeah, thank you. And Kalpana Ben, you are an instrument of God's love, in whose presence others feel as valuable as a jewel, as lovely as an angel, and as light as a pearl held in an ocean of love, ocean of peace.
Thank you, Saurabh.
Thank you. Kanubhai, with God's love as your teacher, you learn to show compassion not through pity, but through empowerment.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. Purnima Ben, restored through God's love, you become a truly royal soul who fills every breath with pure feelings of benevolence. Thank you, Purnima Ben. This is for Divakar Bhai and kids. God's love molds your heart into a sacred space that can hold an ocean of love, complete appreciation of life, and utmost regard for others.
Thank you so much, Saurabh Bhai. Om Shanti.
And Triratna Bhai, God's love reawakens within you the capacity to co-create a better world simply by recognizing your angelic heart and noble attitude. How beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sanjita Ben, through the forgiving nature of God's love, you have discovered the key to unlock all the treasures within the heart.
Thank you, Saurabh Bhai.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sushila Mataji, God's love fills your heart with the wisdom that the most valuable thing one can give is forgiveness. Thank you. And this is for the family, everyone. The world may shake around you, but you remain protected in the purity and power of God's love.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kusum Ben, you are a gentle soul who remains honest with the self, sensitive to the feelings of others, and always protected by God's love.
Thank you, Saurabh Bhai. Thank you so much.
And Rupesh Bhai, God's love empowers you to let go of all that is heavy and frees you to fill with all that is light.
Bye. Thank you, Saurabh Bhai.
Thank you, Bhai. And our dear angel Kushal, God's love patiently heals you to such an extent that you naturally start to live a life that serves and inspires others.
Thank you, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So good to hear you.
Thank you.
So we're soon about to listen to yet another song from the King Productions. Right?
No. Oh my God, what was that?
He was actually playing I Am Light. Now
Really?
he listened to that song and he played it, but he doesn't want to
Wow.
play now.
Okay. Maybe some other time, but it would be nice to hear from Kushal sometime. Thank you. Great.
One for you.
Yeah, one for yourself, Saurabh Bhai.
It says, God's love molds you into a courageous soul who recognizes that whatever you face will become wings with which to fly.
Oh, beautiful.
Wonderful. So true. Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
true.
True.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, family. Have a blessed Sunday, rest of the Sunday, and every day with Baba.
Thank you, Saurabai. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
brother.
Saurabai.
Thank you, Saurabai. Thank you. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.